Hello and welcome back to Casterton Vintage Videos. Today we're in amongst the tractors at the Rempstone Steam Rally. The weather forecast was another extremely hot day, so I decided to get there nice and early whilst it was a bit cooler. And here we are amongst the tractors in the tractor line, starting with a nice original condition Fordson Dexter, and standing next to it a Ford Ferguson or Ford 9N. Built from 1939 until Ford and Ferguson fell out in 1946. By 1947, Ford introduced their own tractor, the Ford 8N, which resulted in a massive court case between Ford and Ferguson over patents. In 1945, Fordson introduced the E27M Major onto the British market. This particular one is fitted with a Smith's hydraulic power lift. And next, a brown and white David Brown 990 Selectomatic. The colour scheme probably dates it around late 60s, early 70s. And then a 1210 in the case David Brown colours of white and orange. Going back in time, an early David Brown Cropmaster dating from about 1947. And a slightly later Cropmaster. And a David Brown 30D, produced between 1953 and 1956. This will have David Brown's answer to draft control, the TCU or traction control unit. An International Cub Cadet, and this is a lovely International 1020 in fully original condition. It looks like it just came out the field, complete with additional toolboxes, and I bet if you open them they're still full of the original tools. A nicely restored early Fordson Dexter. Here's a mystery for you, a 6-cylinder Massey Ferguson 35. A TEF20, the diesel version of the TE20. And this strange beast is an Opperman motor cart, often thought to be designed as a replacement to the horse and cart. They started building them in the 40s, and by the time production finished in 1955 they'd built over 10,000 of them. A Massey Ferguson 35, and I think this one's got the standard diesel engine. A pre-war Fordson Model N, which I'll describe as high visibility orange. No wonder they changed this to green straight after war started, so that they weren't so visible from the air. Like many Nuffield Universals, this one's had a 6-cylinder diesel transplant. And this Fordson Model N's had a diesel transplant as well. It's got a Perkins badge on the front of it, but I'm not sure if this is a Perkins engine. Perhaps you know. If you do, leave me a comment below. The International 276, replacement for the B275. It was introduced in 1966 and went on until 1971. Designed as a tractor for small farms by Brockhouse Engineering, the BMB President. It was built from 1950 to 1956 and used a Morris 10 horsepower engine. And here's an interesting pair of tractors. Firstly, the Ford 7000, Ford's first tractor with a turbocharger, built between 1971 and 1975. And next to it, the Ford 76. It replaced the 7000 in 1975 and had the new legal requirement of a quiet cab. And to celebrate 100 years since Caterpillar were formed, we've got this D7. The tractor lines are starting to fill up now, and just behind them we've got this Atkinson lorry complete with steam engine. And it's not just any steam engine. This is a new one, or virtually new, built in 2005 at Stapfold Barn, where they have a large collection of engines and some excellent workshops. The John Deere 40, built between 1953 and 1955 in Dubuque, Iowa. A county full track based on the E27N Major. And a later county track conversion, this time based on the E1A Major. This is an early example of the Fordson Major diesel, probably early 50s. The Ploughmaster 6.4, based on the later version of the Fordson Major. And it looks like we've found the 6-cylinder 35. The engine appears to have been made by DAF, and it's fitted with a turbocharger. I think it's just plenty powerful enough for the back end on that 35. And we saw the county track conversion for the E1A Major earlier, and here we've got the roadless version. If you watched last week's video, you'll have seen a full collection of Fords and Majors. That is apart from this model, which I believe is a new performance Super Major. It was the very last incarnation of the E1A Major and included a number of upgrades, including Qualitrol draft control system. For reference, here's the back end of the early E1A Major, where the hydraulics basically went up and down, and that was it, no draft control. And this just arrived. Anybody fancy a helicopter ride? If you're a regular viewer, you'll know how I like a tractor with an attachment, and this grey Fergie has got a sack lifter on the back. A tractor you don't see often, this 80s industrial Ford 5610H. An original condition Ferguson FE35 or grey gold Ferguson, and this one's fitted with a hydraulic front end loader. I thought it was time we took a break from the tractors, so I headed off into the rest of the show. I was quite taken by this car. And here's a very special little steam tractor being pushed towards you here. It was built in 1923 by Evelyn and Porter, and during its working life it was abandoned on the shores of Loch Ness. It eventually ended up in the capable hands of Tom, who's steering it here, and he turned it into what you see today. A complete work of art. I think this is the oldest traction engine on site today, and it's probably the oldest exhibit. Somebody will let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but it was made in 1884 and it's an Evelyn and Porter A6 traction engine. And if you like rare and unusual, how about this John Fowler four-wheel drive traction engine? It's a half-size model and it was made without the help of drawings, and the four-wheel drive element was interpreted from the original patent filing. I think my take-home exhibit of the day would have been this Yorkshire steam wagon, made in 1905. Or maybe I'll change my mind. How about this 1916 Sentinel standing next to it?
Yeah. A few people do like put yeah, so we've got that, we've got a trailer, we've got the other blue roads, and that's got some just makes me think.
Ah, look what I've found. The car that whizzed past earlier. Let's take a better look at it. I'm a big fan of working exhibits, so that usually means at a rally I end up in the wood sawing department. And there's quite a lot going on there at Rempstone, including a modern saw to show you how it should be done. It doesn't quite have the romance of steam though, does it?
Yeah.
And just next to the wood sawing we found two more tractors. This little David Brown 780 Selectomatic, and standing next to it is this International 434. Next we'll take a quick walk around the cars and we'll see if we can find something a little bit different. I was rather drawn to this 1939 Lagonda. And this is a 1928 Peugeot 172R. a 1968 Hillman Husky, based on the Hillman Imp van. The Hillman Imp was beset with problems right from the start and never really did fulfill its promise. If you watch my videos regularly, you'll know I've got a Ruston & Hornsby portable, and Exhibit A13 was down in the catalogue as a Ruston & Hornsby, so I thought I needed to take a look. Lincoln built engines often carry similar features, and this certainly does have some features that are similar to my Ruston, but it's not exactly the same, and it's plated as a Clayton & Shuttleworth. So what's the story here? Was it made by Claytons? Was it badge engineered by Claytons? I'm sure somebody will let me know in the comments. So that's our look at the 2025 Rempstone Rally. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very hot, and it wouldn't have been a good day for driving a steam engine. So on behalf of us all, thank you to all the steam engine drivers for putting on a show, and thank you to the organisers of Rempstone. We'll be back again next year for another instalment. In the meantime, thanks to you for watching, and we'll see you all again next week.